line. Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet, not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing.
With the ButtKicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. ButtKicker, the future is feeling.
Under the bright skies and the beautiful scenes and scenery down in Daytona Beach, Florida, there is a host of hungry drivers, packed, stacked, ready to go out on the attack. Shake and Bake Racing League is back, presented in part by the ButtKicker Company. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to PTM Racing TV, and welcome back to the show of shows right here and now on PTM Racing TV. Hi everyone, I am the Crusader Christian Shriver, joining you guys tonight for Shake and Bake Racing League and their first edition of the series today, as we are about to get down here on YouTube side of things and watch these guys go at it. It's time to take a look at today's starting lineup here for the ButtKicker Cup Series Shake and Bake Racing League division. Let's take a look down here as we will see on the pole. Well, that will be Alan Wilson. Then the 79's outside Chris James in the 82. Row number 2 is going to be Bryson Matthews in the 20's outside. The 86, that's Jason Jackson. Row number 3 is going to be Derek Whitford, and the number 44 is outside 66. That's Nick Baresi. Row number 4 is going to be Jaden Hopp, and the 81's outside. That's the 9. That's Lawrence Shaughnessy. Row number 5, that's going to be Brad Ward, and the 87 is outside Brandon Sheffield. And the number 96 is out. Row number 6 is going to be Darrell Whitford, and the 21 piling up will be Keith Whitford in the 06. Row 7, we'll see Aiden Doyle there, and the 24 is outside Andrew Griesbaum, and the number 78. Row number 8 is going to be David Chivley, and the 85 is outside. That will be, of course, Oscar Henson, the 88. Row number 9 sees Austin Derbyshire, and the number 64 is outside Stephen Cliff, and the 80. Row 10 sees Rocky Harpence, and the 71's outside. That'll be Victor Stank, the 68. Row number 11 will be Robbie Harpence, and the 11 is outside Brody Gunter, and the 01. Row number 12 is going to be Brian P. Traeger, and the number 6, Daniel Walker, and the 74 will round out the field in that position. Now the final starters in the field. We're going to see Spencer Clark in the 92, Colby Lindbergh in the 95, Sean Ryan 31, Wild Bill Matthews in the 75 is going to be the final starter in this one. Race fans, if you come to see a show and you come to see the best drivers have a good time and put on a show out here tonight, I think you've come to the right place. We just watched what happens when you put the Road Course Challenge and Road Course Challenge Week from Elemental Racing League. But how about we return to the roots and return to what makes us this racing fanatics we are. The Daytona 500 may be over with, But that doesn't mean we can't have a little bit of fun down on the track. Off of four center corners here down the field. In the end, here we go. Green flag is out in Daytona. Boy, you can just feel the power that come off the line through the set of corners here through the chicanes. Driving hard down off the first set, third turns. They are loud, they are mean, they are fighting to be. They'll bring him right off the corners right now. This is kind of the thing I like to do the most right out of the gate. Just kind of let this set in for a minute. Just let everything just kind of do its own thing. Don't even worry about trying to call the race. Just kind of settle it down for a second here, guys. Listen to the motor of these things and listen to the power they bring to the line at the start. I think there's a way we can do that with a more substantial manner. Let's go ahead and crank it up a few notches now, shall we? Just the absolute beauty and the sound of these cars bring to the table right now. So far, it has been a pretty good start here for Jason Jackson. The 86 starts 3 spots up. Nick Rossi right behind him. The 66 driver trying to put the Ford Mustangs in play already. These Mustangs have been dominating as of late here, not just on the PTM Racing TV side of things, but also on even the IRL world right now, because it seems like drivers are getting kind of the point, getting the idea out there that these things are built to last, they're built to survive, they're built for tough. But the Chevrolets, well, let's just say they don't exactly feel that is out of the question, nor do the Toyota Camrys here. I suspect later on we're going to see a lot of those drivers actually start to make some big changes, some big moves and headways here to work on the way through the field. So far been pretty clear here, pretty clean out of the gate. 4 laps in out of 100 though. This is certainly a long distance, long race, long charge, long fight. No gimmies here. Working on an hour and 45-minute clock tonight here, so the drivers only have so much time to work with and so much time to gain with. They know they cannot be making mistakes, and they got to stay very close to the edge, close to the heart with this track. The onboard camera here with Oscar Henson here right now as he pilots his Hendrick Motorsports machine into the fight, into the fray. Alan Wilson is saying, kind of hanging back there, a little Chris James Brassi as well, as he continues to see some moments and see some lines here. One thing to really watch here, I think, is going to be the guys with the higher safety rating, the higher IR rating here in this case. IR rating here with 5309, the fastest of the so far of the field. That's definitely Chris James here in that 82. So he's the only one out here with a 5,000 I rating, and I think that might be a telling tale here for these drivers. I think they may need to keep a close eye on him when they start to get closer into the long haul things. The good news is, though, is again, with this being a Daytona International Speedway, this track really opens the door up for everyone to have a fair shake and a fair charge of things. But again, when you look at the long distance run, you look at the long grip run here that these drivers are going to face, that could definitely be a bit of a challenge, a little bit of a stretch here for them to be careful about. They know they can't overdo it too quickly, but they don't want to just let go too soon. I think they're going to really be striving towards finding a line and finding the right momentum at the right time here. Darrell Whitford right now, number 21 currently. We saw him back on PTM Racing TV last season. Good to see him back again. Aiden Doyle right beside him as well. Or behind him, I should say. Was beside, now got behind him. Looks like he's just trying to stay out of trouble here for the most part. So right now, looking at everything tonight, our details here. This is an open setup race, 3 sets of tires in the pits. They get 2 pit stops should needed for fuel here as well. So it looks like estimated fuel length would be about 40 laps. So I look for drivers to kind of go in around that 40 lap marker at the gate, and then some may go in a little earlier than others just to give themselves a little bit of clarity. But with 3 gray and white checkers, that can definitely hurt their strategy and hurt their momentum a little bit. They'll have to be careful about that. And of course, only 1 fast repair today. Sub-drivers tonight, Nick Rossi is subbing in for Edward Kane, Bill Matthews subbing for Kevin Whitford, and Spencer Clark subbing for Craig Harris. There are the guys to watch out for. They are the drivers to keep your notes and keep your eyes on throughout this battle and throughout this race. So far, though, it's been pretty clean, been pretty discreet here for these drivers. I think the main thing is they're just trying to look for openings if they can and find shots when they got it. I don't think they want to overdo it too quickly here. Oh, no, hold on. Watch out. Big wreck right in front here of us in the camera angle on that number 78 of Andrew Griesbaum. And I think Keith Whitford might be stuck up there right now, that 06. Oh, nope. He's going to refire. This thing sits so low to the ground, honestly. It's kind of hard to get away from that spot, get away from that angle there. And I think he just kind of figured that one out the hard way. Let's take a look at the PTM instant replay here and see what exactly transpired here for Whitford here in the 06, presented in part by the ButtKicker company tonight. Sorry for that mistiming error there, folks. Wasn't expecting that to pop up like that. There we go. Looks like they got it fixed up. Took them long enough, though. Alright, let's take another look at it from one more angle here. This is really, it's going to give you guys a better insight on that one. I thought the producers switched them out, so they just told me, no, we forgot to by accident. But you can see the 06 here. Got a little bit cornered off there, and actually you can see just how quick these things can turn on you as soon as you've got them running. And ends up costing Whitford plenty of time and a lot of momentum there. That will set him back a little bit in positions. So just heads up tonight as well, just there are team drivers out here that's racing here in this field. So Highside Motorsports is owner driver there, Lawrence Shinessi. He's currently also with the driver team of Alan Wilson, Jay Knopp, Victor Stank. Edward Kane representing with GDR here as the owner driver. Brad Ward, Brandon Sheffield, Jason Jackson, all part of his team. E-Speed Racing, you just may have seen a minute ago on that white dial-designed up car there. That is owner driver Rocky Harpins with Robbie Harpins, Brian P. Traeger, Steve Olaf as the drivers there in that field. Then the Raise Hell, Praise Dale racing team, you can probably guess where that one's coming from, but Sean Ryan is the owner driver there. Daniel Walker, driver, Colby Lindbergh, and Craig Harris rounding out with that crew. Then the Cool Breeze team, owner-driver Derek Whitford with Darrell Whitford, Keith Whitford, and Kevin Whitford. The Whitford family all in line with that one. Swamp Fox Motorsports, represented with Ashley Hancock, Aiden Doyle, David Chivley, Brody Gunter, and Andrew Griesbaum. And Ashley, not a driver, but an owner of the fleet, of the field and of the track, so something to kind of take note of and take charge of throughout these events, throughout these races. So only really 1/10 of the way there so far. Still a lot of laps needed to be put down on the track, still put into the field here. Looking at a lot of these guys too, man, this is going to be one thing that really separates out the drivers, separates out the field, is really the teamwork that they're going to have to be put into place here. Remember, there are 3 determining factors when guarding a team, when you're setting yourself up for a team event. In this case, the first one is what is fuel line strategy. It's also then your manufacturer and then your actual team itself. So the actual team itself, to me, has always been kind of a mixed bag, if you will. Sometimes you use them to help block other drivers up there to get the race lead or the win, or sometimes you end up just using them to slingshot over the other to help get yourself a chance at being in the top half, the top areas there. All of it, though, boils down to the same thing, which is who can be the best and who can get the top spot before the rest. I suspect, though, when you see a lot of these four driver teams, as well as the driver owners, that maybe a little bit of a helping hand, a little bit more of a workaround for them, that certainly can do some damage here. And again, a reminder, folks, that if you did enjoy the race that you just witnessed here a little while ago here from Pedal Mill Racing League and the Road Course Challenge, or if you may have missed it, well, I got you covered here. YouTube should have it up here very, very soon, as we are broadcasting live from it right now, so it may take a little bit to process, but nevertheless here, though, for those that stayed tuned, stayed with us here, we really do appreciate you guys, and we love you for that. If you are new to the channel, though, from the Shake and Bake side of things, watching your friends, family, or crew go out there on the track, well, be sure to hit the subscribe button here on our show so you never miss anything here, and you never miss when we go live. We got a few live shows other than just this one. YouTube is starting to grow, and we want to grow with you guys, so we're always looking for new and creative ways to help fix things and do more creative stuff out here. So we do appreciate the support, though, and all you're giving to us. So just a little thing to know here too right now, out of the field, a little international flavor. 3 drivers here from the Canada region, Brad Ward, Steve Olaf, and Austin Derbyshire, all represented from their Canada counterparts here to the Americans as we get back to the green flag. And now the field, rocketing them towards them, turns the first set of corners. Shifting into the gears, shifting into the momentum, and building up the speed to try to hold on the line. This, to me, is really what separates these next-gen Cup cars from the Gen 6s, Gen 5s, and all of them, is literally having to find a rhythm and find a little bit of power under the hood to get a good start and get a good jump, while also using drivers as your teammates, as your allies, to push and shove and to get everyone up to the front. This package also, if you're not careful, you get extremely loose with it, and it will cause you more trouble and pain and misery than you realize. You've got to watch every single area and every single line you hit today. Through the start here, through the gate, still everyone looking for openings, looking for some opportunity to strike. Bryson Matthews right now, the number 20 here, piloting up in the Menards machine, currently holding down the 3rd place run. But on the outside of him, Nick Barassi is looking to try to rally the troops, rally the fields. He wants the gang to come up onto the front of the pack. We heard from the drivers earlier on, they said point blank that outside feels a little slicker than it does on the bottom lane, which is just kind of the usual Daytona mantra, the Daytona situation. It always pops up here or there. I think the major thing, though, to really watch out for throughout this race and throughout the majority of this event is just how much pushing and shoving will these guys do if it meant getting their way or getting their spot. Especially for guys like right now, you see a big push coming from Barassi and Jason Jackson looking to go to the bottom lane. Jackson trying to hold him down while the A7 here, Brad Ward, looking to try to help out the crew and help out the team here. Much momentum and much on display here. Every single one of these guys giving it a whole lot of power and a whole lot of rundown. Jason Jackson, not a part of a team here. He's a lone wolf, if you will. He does his own thing. He does what he feels like when he needs to. A little bit of problems down there for Austin Derbyshire here. Looks like there might be a little bit of a problem here for the 64. Let's take a look at the PTM Instant replay real quick while we go ahead and take a look at this one. Looked like he might have got trapped here. Yeah, I got 3 wide saluted. Got pummeled in. It looks like he actually gets into one of them here. Oh, man! Yeah, he got more than just hit in there. The 11M of Robbie Harpins unfortunately collided in, and that took him straight to the shadow room. No caution, though. Remain under the green. Robbie Harpins, though, I guarantee you, not too thrilled about that, and probably a little bit more annoyed than anything, looking to try to make a display for his E-Speed Racing team here today, but that's definitely not going to help his cause any. Brad Ward now taking the race lead as we were literally watching back there. Jason Jackson scooted back into the front, kind of shuffled down there a little bit. Looked like he didn't have really many other places to go other than just having to fight it out with the boys. Lawrence Shaughnessy Jr., though, in that 9 machine now looking to grab the grip and grab the tires on this pavement surface here of Daytona. The surface and the track itself has been reconfigured and redone here for this series and for the races here, of course, on iRacing. iRacing did a great job going down here and actually rescanning the track and actually getting everything squared away to where it would match up more to what we see in real life today. And boy, howdy has it ever. Giving you a good look from the chopper cam here as you see the fields. You can just see how much of this really, that actual real life iRacing versus the real life world has kind of melted and mixed in with each other. It's almost really kind of watching a carbon copy of the Daytona 500 we watched earlier. Drivers getting runs when they can, pushing and shoving when they have to, and then finding more momentum when they can later on. I mean, it's crazy, but I mean, the iRacing does stay true to what they said. They're trying to be more of a legitimate simulator of style, if you will. Down on the back straightaway here, the Edward Kane, the 96. You may have seen that little scar there. There, the GDR logo on the side of his car here. He is the owner driver for this team and for this series in general. He's looking to try to prove something to his boys and try to prove a point here out of the gate and see if he can get something going. As they continue to dictate the pace, kind of dictate stuff around, the Daytona train has now begun. So race fans, when we come back, we're going to see who is going to be the one that stops the train and literally fires on the outside. Plenty more racing to go here on PTM Racing TV.
With the ButtKicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. ButtKicker. The future is feeling.
Welcome back here, ladies and gentlemen, on PTM Racing TV right now. Currently still live here in Daytona Beach, Florida, here with Daytona International Speedway and the Shake and Bake Racing League in hot pursuit, hot spots here. They are working their way through the field here, charging up every single thing they can here, trying to find some momentum and get something going here on the track. We took the onboard camera here with Daniel Walker, the number 74 here. He's rocking his Chevrolet Camaro today. Daniel Walker trying to maybe make a statement on the boys earlier on. We have seen him before here on PTM Racing TV, and this is one of the drivers from the Braesdale Racing Team, owned by Sean Ryan, so he'll definitely be a guy, in my opinion, you have to keep our eye on. throughout these events, throughout the show here, because he certainly seems like he can bring the pain as much as he can race it out. A lot of cameras moving around here, a lot of kind of shuffling, pacing, and setting up for each of the corners, each of the turns here. Obviously, though, with these Daytona draft trains, they're meant to serve only one purpose, and that's just to make sure no one gets out of line and no one loses their power and speed, while also kind of settling up for later on. It does save fuel quite a bit too, which can definitely help them. But I think, more than anything, it's a matter of timing and patience with every single one of these drivers here. Right now in the comment section, the Palos has joined us in here, coming off her little stint she just had a little while ago here on the iRace again here. Bottles, good to have you back on board. Good to hear from you today. Watching down though here at Daytona, I mean, there's one thing I really kind of want to take from the Daytona 500 I want to throw in here today, which is just the fact that really of all things, every single one of those drivers that got on that track, they ended up having something go down, or somewhere in between. They ended up finding themselves in a little bit of a hot run, a little bit of a hot shot. And they actually would, you know, get involved in some kind of incident, some kind of situation that got them into trouble or got them into a bit of a rough edge here. You know, I'm not saying that necessarily that can happen all the time or that is going to happen a lot of times here, but it certainly does kind of warrant into perspective that it can happen here. Also in the comment section, feel free to ignore that little spam we get here and now and then. It's literally on all our pages and everything. Even on my streaming page now, it happens there too. So just be aware. We know it's there. Believe us, we don't like it either, but just ignore it, please. We're going the onboard camera here on the front straightaway here. Dave Shively in the number 85 Ford Mustang, turning the light right in there, right behind Grandeur Griesbaum in the number 78. Griesbaum coming back from that little wreck that we saw earlier, now trying to put the Purina 78 into a bit of a fight, a little bit of a straightaway here too. Still, drivers continuing to be a little bit conservative here. I would have thought by now they may have wanted to go for a little runaround, but everybody seems to be under control. They seem to be more in tune and in pace with themselves. I don't think they want to make too big of a move right out of the gate. I think their strategy is to let the timing and let the car kind of come to them. Don't worry about what the other drivers are doing. Don't worry about themselves here. And really, if that is the case, really, then I feel as though that can actually play out very well, and they're tasting very smartly here. My ultimate question, though, is it going to be able to do that for the entirety of this race as we go on board with Spencer Clark in the 92 with Rocky Harpins here in his E-Speed racing machine currently right up ahead of him. So, I mean, earlier we did see when those wanted to get up to the front, they did not hesitate. They would charge up and they would run this thing into the ground. Still everything looking pretty calm, cool, and collective here. Nothing too major, nothing too out of the ordinary. Every single one of these drivers right now, I guarantee you, probably either feeling a good shake in the butt or a little bit of a kick in the butt. Or this butt kicker, yep, 7 Cup Series on the track and on display right now. That's one thing I do like about the feeling of these butt kicker devices, actually, those Gamer 2s. If you ever have one, you ever get one for yourself here, I definitely highly recommend it. It's not just because these guys help kind of give these guys a fair chance on the leagues. I'm being dead serious. I actually owned and used a butt kicker machine for a good chunk of my iRacing time here. I personally kind of stopped using it just because the way my setup works anymore. It's better just for me to go with my wheelbase and feel that. But nevertheless here, that butt kicker, man, it will shake, it rattles and rolls everything on you and does what it needs to do. And that's exactly what they are feeling right now inside these Next Gen Cup cars. It truly makes you feel like you are immersed into that experienced world and into that. And if you say, even too, if you're in their virtual reality mode as well, I mean, sometimes kind of hard to tell actually if you're actually not in the real world, or if you're just messing around with something that is actually a car. Kind of crazy to say, kind of crazy to think, but hey, that is the actual cold hard truth. Right now, I mean, thing is, right now the drivers, they're just kind of staying out of control. They're staying out of a position here and trying to stay out of problematic zones, but I don't know. I mean, at this point, I'm still kind of wondering, you know, how long before those that need to get into pit road start to opt towards that lane, start to opt towards that position, because again, once you see them all go into pit road, then it just kind of becomes a bit of a crazy love train here to figure out who can get the girl first. Field continuing to mark their way down across the track here. Still no one giving an inch just yet. So why don't we crank it up a little bit and put this one on the loudspeakers. Let's head it down and crank it up some. Well, you may have noticed something too here, folks. You watch some of these guys get around this track, some of them actually getting a little bit looser than others. That's because the tires right now on the right side, they're starting to take a bit of a beating out there and actually starting to roar and tore up a little bit. That makes it harder for a driver to actually kind of hold the line down, kind of hold these things on play and on zone. Keeping a target in front of you and keeping a shot on where you want to go to is one thing, but it's another to actually be able to hold this thing down and keep it on strike and on line. And that's exactly right now what these drivers are worrying about and they're trying to hold up with. Jaden Hobbs still your race leader here in the 81, and I think it's about time we talk about this cat for a second here, because right now, I mean, he's been your leader for a good chunk of the race so far with Lawrence Shaughnessy right behind him. But it seems like, to me, he's just been kind of more tempoed, conditioned, and paced in to hold everything online, to really hold the crowd on charge and not worry about the rest. And so far anyway, it seems like that's been kind of the key to his strategy. It's been kind of the key to his success. Now, I can't tell you how long that may last for him comparatively to others out here, but I would presume he's probably very focused on what he can bring to the table, what he can get here. If that is the case here, then that definitely will be kind of the overarching story here, the over-under, which is just bringing everything to its limits and bringing the car down to the end. But I guarantee you, when we get to the last 10 laps, these guys are going to start to get a little bit impatient and start to maybe make a few changes here in position. Looks like they might already starting to be dancing up right now. A little bit of some movement back there. Aiden Doyle was trying to get some rallying up of the troops here with Sean Ryan, the number 31. Got a few guys behind him. Colby Lindenberg here also doing something. Trying to move up on the backs on the outside. The 6 here, Brian P. Traeger. Rocky Harpus as well. No, they were all trying to get something up in the fire, up into the flames, and through the fire and the flames they come, or they carry on. It was not going to work here. Still holding on though. They're not gonna quit out there. Obviously, they're gonna keep going, do what they can to just make it work here. But that's kind of the hard part about what they're struggling with right now, which is just hoping and getting a shot in to make a big run, make a big shot, and make a big chance at. Daytona's not a track you can just take lightly though, especially with these next gen cars. We saw actually, you may have watched this in Champ Power Coming Fast Fun Cup Series, but on Tuesday night. Notice something there when we were talking about here, which was surprising to even me and some of the other guys out here, was that some of these drivers were getting loose on their own just because the tire wear had firmed up and actually forced them to kind of square off a little bit. So, getting loose is one thing, but really, I think this kind of plays into more of an even factor, which is how hard can you actually go before you have to get off throttle and off timing here before the cars start to quite frankly, let loose and let out. I mean, the thing is right now, some of these guys are only going about half throttle right now. Jaden Hopp, let's just say he's going full throttle, and that thing is really burning up fuel, while Lawrence Tennessee Jr. is about, I'd say about 3/4, maybe full on max 6, trying to push the 81 a little bit. And the only reason I can tell that is you see the way that front bumper is locked up on that rear bumper. He is definitely pushing something around here. Just about halfway done right at the moment here. Currently still trying to pound and ground, stack them on down, and hope for some runs and hope for some momentum here. It's a long race ahead of themselves, and a long race to really keep mastering and keep up with the distance, keep up with the paces here. I feel like more than anything as a driver, the biggest thing that you always want to watch out for, you always got to keep your eye on the prize in the ballpark of, is your overall fundamentals and your overall discipline you bring to its car and you bring to the table here, because again, with these things, they're just so darn difficult to work with and really master and strive at being the best at. And again, a lot of that is not because of anything that involves the drivers. It's really just, it's a whole new landscape. It's a whole new world for these guys. They're driving a car that, steering wise, has a little bit more of a kind of shake, rattle, and roll to it. It has more of actually a kind of stiffness to it. Like, the best way I can explain these cars is like, it really does feel more like a stronger steering ratio car. Like, that's the best way I can explain it is like if I'm on dirt and I all of a sudden have to like start to steer my car in as quick as I can, I would set my steering ratio to only about a 4-to-1 and try to get as quick of a gap as I can to switch the car out, get the spindles to actually steer in and stick into the track better. That's kind of how I explain these cars. You just have to really pay attention and close to what everything brings to the table. Well, we started to park this one closer and closer together here, and the times certainly starting to sway towards where we're going to go in towards pit road here. Not quite out of the woods yet. Drivers have headed into pit road. Derek Woodford, Wild Bill Matthews, Robbie Parpins, and Austin Derbyshire have all entered into the pit side here. They are right now looking to try to strive and help get themselves back into this fight here a little bit. I think more than anything, he's extremely focused on closing gaps, closing moments here, and just looking for any kind of shot they can. I feel like as a driver, you really just kind of have to just keep a closer distance though than you realize how far the cars will work their way around you. So the thing with this draft here that we're going to talk about now is really this draft isn't a slingshot pushing and shove, slingshot pushing and shoving draft area. This thing is actually designed to force drivers to actually kind of stay close in that bubble range and in that area if they want to and if they will maintain a good distance to keep control of the car. Now what I just said there may sound kind of ridiculous, kind of crazy, but I mean the thing is, that's kind of the overarching storyline. You have got to keep close tabs on your drivers. You got to keep close tabs on everybody else. As now drivers head to pit road, Jaden Hopp and all of them will go in. Griesbaum, Shively, Walker, Ryan, Doyle, Lindbergh, Traeger, and Harper will all stay on out a little bit. So now, as I mentioned a minute ago, we're wondering, when would this one kind of fling around, kind of change things up again? Still not opting to go in just yet here. David Shively, now has moved into the #1 spot here as Andrew Griesbaum gets kind of sent back on around. You saw that little crossover there in between, and caution flies on out. There's troubles down there for Nick Barassi. And I'm not really sure what has happened to the number 66 here. He looks like he might have had some mechanical problems down here. Hard to really say without visiting up our good friend, the old PTM Instant Replay, and I know he was coming off of pit road here, so I think maybe he might have overdrove it. Yeah, racing cautions are on here, so that's probably why it was called here in this case. Looked like he kind of got a little too eager. Yeah, that's definitely a bit of an interesting situation here. Got a little too hard off pit road, and everything just kind of got sent out of the ballpark here. Let's take a look at his onboard camera here. Listen very carefully, though, to that fuel run. Well, you see the rear end swung right out from underneath him there. And just as he's trying to recover and save it, he's smack dab on the wall again. Drivers are coming off pit road, and iRacing really had no chance there, or no control. They had to get the caution out so they could give him a chance to square these things away and get everything all taken care of on his end. All comes part of the morning routine, the morning ritual that is racing, unfortunately. Caution lights are on right now. Currently, our second caution of the day. Excuse me. Second caution of the day. No fear, no matter done. We'll still be all right to keep things going. So as we're about ready to reach halfway part here right now, those that did not go into pit road will opt in and get things squared away. The rest is on the drivers to figure out the rest of this game plan here. And it looks like even those that went into pit road are going to go in a little later here. It looks like Jaden Hopp, though. Alan Wilson, Lawrence Chenis, you're going to stay on out. A very interesting situation here. Because now I'm kind of looking at this in two regards, in two ways here. I'm looking at overall the arching storyline of how long can we go in a roundabout way here. How long can the race go for their speed and consistency when they know they have got to strengthen and strive with the amount of laps they have from teammates as well as from other drivers. That, to me, is going to be their biggest fault and their biggest halt here. That can definitely either hurt or succeed here. Feel kind of strengthen their ways around the track yet again. I believe we're going to turn the pace truck's lights off this time by. Yep, lights are off on the pace truck, so field now will stretch back into position. Get ready for the race run here and get ready to fire them on down. Also, race fans, just a little shocker, little twingy in here. I think here next Saturday we may have something new and special for you. You may have noticed something that I've always talked about, which is there has always been two different series we've watched and we've called, which then turned into three. We've seen all three different series, except really for one. I'm not going to spoil it, because you guys can probably guess, but I think when we get out here next Saturday night, we may finally be able to see it and witness it. But all will be revealed in due time, as always. We're going to see here, but I definitely cannot wait to see what happens when we get to the end of this one. Coming right back around right now here. Field gonna come on down and fire these things off around the track. And the green flag flies back on out. Alan Wilson already on the outside, trying to build some speed and build up a little bit of run from the teams behind. Trying to grab the track, trying to grab drivers behind him, hopefully to find some momentum here as they know halfway point being reached. Alan deep dives it on the outside here. Chris James in the A2 working with them as much as they can. Lawrence Janessi trying to help Jaden get a little bit of a boost kick or two. Jaden though going a little bit lower to the bottom. Opens the door up. One gets down. The other cannot. James left all alone. Alan Wilson taking the race lead. Boy, just like that, all of a sudden you go from hit 0 to hero in just a little while. Alan Wilson was your race leader. He was the fast qualifier here. The bunch, he's going to get back to it here as we got problems with the 74. Daniel Walker on the back straightaway, lost control. No caution thrown though. The number 74, well, let's just say he may have got wrecked out, but the iRacing gods did not determine that he was worth the caution, I guess. Let's take a look at the PTM Racing replay. One thing that's gonna really be really scare some drivers maybe from doing too many crazy things here. See the 5 here, unfortunately, kind of drove right down in there. Got a little tap there on the 74. Daniel Walker, man, he had nowhere to go once he came down. He was trying to find a line, and instead he found himself in the overarching under ends of this track. Man, what a wild ride there for him. Unfortunately, he is okay though. He is still trying to get some speed back, get some run back on the track here. We'll see if he can do just that here a little while from now. Back to the action here. We have now reached halfway point. The race is halfway coming over with, and all of a sudden rain decided to pop down or kind of take us out for a little bit of a fight or two. I think we'll be all right. Either way, this race will be put into the bag here, but I don't think we have to worry about that here. Still beautiful skies here at Daytona International Speedway. Definitely can't shake that off or can't say anything better about that. It's such a beautiful end and such a beautiful world here. And another wreck down here. Looks like there's problems down there. Once again, Nick Barassi with problems again here. And this time the caution does fly on out. Third caution here today. And kind of the same spot we saw one of our other guys here kind of caught up in here. This one, though, is definitely a big wreck scenario here. Let's take a look at the replay. It might have been due to the 74 kind of keeping these guys more in touch here. One driver going right into the back, unfortunately. Got everyone kind of squared out there for a second. I don't know which one that was exactly here. We'll take a look at it from the replay's perspective. See, looks like it might have been the 20. Nope, it's the one right behind. Yeah, there it is right there. I think that's the 02. Getting into, looks like... Hold on a minute. I'm trying to get a look. I think that might have been Woodford that had the initial impact there, and the guy behind him was Brody Gunter. He was in the 01, I should say. So one last look at this one here, and this is going to give you guys a better eyesight here and a better camera here. Just how tough it is to hold these things online and hold these things on charge when you get punched around like this one. Nowhere to go and plenty of places to get caught up into. That's the only thing you can do around here on the show. Well, race fans, right now, drivers are going to head back into pit road, get squared away. When we come back, we're about to find out if someone can hold on to the line, hold on to the run. There's still plenty of action to come here on PTM Racing TV.
With the ButtKicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. ButtKicker, the future is feeling.
on PTM Racing TV right now. Live coverage here from, of course, Daytona International Speedway in Daytona Beach, Florida. Right from the start here and from the word go, really everybody has been just trying to find momentum or trying to find oppositions to strike up against, really take away from. But I feel like more than anything, it's been kind of more of a fire off kind of showdown here, and that's the kind of racing I don't mind seeing too often. But at the moment, things have definitely slowed to a little bit of a crawl, a little bit of a standstill here. Every single one of these drivers needs to start kind of toning this one back a little bit, in my opinion. Really start to take a little bit more care of their equipment and keeping an eye on things, because again, with that one faster pair, it forces drivers to basically have to watch every end, watch every little shot, and maybe give themselves a little bit of a chance here. And looks like Wild Bill Matthews is going to head to pit road, so I think he's going to try to get himself some more fuel here. I think even he knows he's not in the right place in the right spot. I think he's in a bit of a tough time here. Field has got the picture. The field is set back in pace and then back into the run. If we're ready to go racing, I think we are too here on PTM Racing TV. Now let's get down to it. Off the corner zone. We're going to bring it back to the green flag here. Charge them right off, and it's back to the action here at Daytona. The power, the momentum, all that is still there, and it's certainly just breathtaking to listen to sometimes. And really, one thing I think a lot of these guys are kind of now taking into full claim and aim with is that now they know they have got to watch out for overcharging and overpowering these things. They've kind of put themselves into a bit of a bad run, a bit of a bad spot here. Some movement now starting to come up through the front and onto the holes here, finding some openings when they can. Looks like there might be a little bit of a charge coming up. Chris James back in the same line, in the same position he was in a little earlier on, this time in a much different place. He's up in the front. Gets a little help there from Steve Olaf here. Olaf giving him right up, 16 spots up, now moving to the second. As Brandon Sheffield now has a little bit of a fight on his hands. So many oppositions, so many guys just trying to hope for the best, trying to hope to stay out of trouble. That is not necessarily the case, though. You still have got to work and reel these things in the best of your abilities. Back on board here, Jaden Hopp here, as we continue to watch his line, watch his momentum here. You can see he's been trying to get a handful and a bit of a grip on these guys and get some shot and get a take time or two. I feel like more than anything though, like being in this position, being in that area, there's a lot more disadvantages here to being on the bottom than there is being on the top. Top side, at least you know you have the outside to go right to and kind of get a charge off from, as long as there's grip up there. Whereas the bottom lane, if you're kind of stuck down there, you can't go by the yellow line, you can't really get out of that mess. You're stuck in that area for the rest of the time being. That certainly does not help anybody's case whatsoever, but hey, you know what? The other day, if you can still hang in there and you can still kind of perform and do your show, then really that's all you got to do. Now we see another lead change here with only 40 laps remaining here as Brandon Sheffield takes full charge and full aim. He moves now into the race lead. Bryson Matthews, by the way, secretly and silently kind of just moving his Menards number 20 up ahead a little bit, kind of right into the fray. He's got the 79 of Alan Wilson and Steve Olaf right in this line of power in sight. Maybe I'm looking to knock these guys out a little bit, give them something to think about just a little bit more here. Certainly likes to do that. Certainly likes to give them a little bit of area and room. Bryson Matthews right now, number 20, continue to keep the line on the charge on the bottom lane here with Alan Wilson right on the outside line, still looking for some openings, looking for a shot or two to strike with. The thing is, guys, like a lot of these drivers have been really like I said, continuing just to hit their marks consistently here, but yeah, at the same time, they haven't really been able to get out of their madness and out of their spots here. Some were able to get to the bottom quicker than others and get the charge going. Some were kind of stuck in no man's land and really found themselves in a very worse for wear area. One thing is for sure though, absolutely nothing is left out on the track here. They all put it down on the line to put it down to the end. Some fields now starting to move through the field, kind of move back up air as we're looking closer and closer to a bit of a standstill here when it comes to pit road. Pit road drivers are going to have to be very aware and observationally ensuring they're ready to go down there at the right time in the right place. Otherwise, this could be a bit of an outhouse field for them. They know they can't overdo it, they can't underdo it here, especially with the way things are playing. They've got to be careful, they've got to be a little more precise and precision based here. As they continue to get around off turn number 3 here, still Keith Whitford, man, talk about a night he's had. He's been in wrecks, he's been trashed, he's been crashed. Still has one car left to go and has not done yet. Road drivers coming off here, kind of coming through the lanes, coming through the ends. Everyone's still looking for some striking, looking for some power under the hood. Down to the final laps here, closing on them in, closing them down on the field here. Remember, still time limit about an hour and 45 as a huge record surge right down on the front straightaway. Huge collision course. Leaders involved and drivers paddling back to the front, crashed out hard. Cautions out. Oh my, a huge wreck here. We saw one driver going straight up into the wall, into the fence here, got collapsed in and really had nowhere to go from there. Might have been Jason Jackson here. Take a look at the replay. Jason looked like he had a lot of bursting momentum and then he got trapped. He was having some good run and got trapped in the middle, then 3 wide, then everybody else trying to evade, trying to avoid. And it made it look a lot crazier, a lot wilder than it is, but actually only about 3 or 4 cars got involved there. And for Jason Jackson, I guarantee you, he is certainly not a happy camper with this one. Looked like he was trying to get down in between him and the 82. And then this is where the 3 wide came up, the 80 kind of cobbled in. Once you get kind of clipped in there and kind of sent on by, there's really not a lot of areas to go from there. And sadly, Jason kind of learned that the extremely hard way. Sun's starting to set down here on Daytona Beach here, but the good news is we still have some lights to go up on the track here, so it's not like we're in a fish out of the water here. I mean, more than anything, I think the biggest thing that these guys got to really just start slowing back down and really maybe looking towards is obviously when they want to push and when they want to shove and who they want to push and who they shove. Because we saw it earlier, even in the Daytona 500, there were certain drivers out there, not going to mention names, but they were just literally pulling every string and pulling every car into their line of sight and then just pushing for everything they got to get them out of the way or in play. And then there was those out there that were just pretty much waiting until the very, very last minute, and then they would strike up with maybe about 40 or 50 laps left to go. And that's kind of how they were playing out from there. So guys, currently getting squared away here. Maybe looking to just build up a little bit more momentum. Notice the lap counter here, about 30 laps left to go here. Where when we get about to the 15-20 lap marker, I guarantee you folks that there's going to be a lot of drivers looking to start firing quicker and starting to push harder and faster around the track. I think that could exemplify and expense some of these guys. And if it does, and if and when it does, you know, where do you go from there, and how will you be able to handle your own nerves, handle your own control of the car? Because that's when we know things get very hectic, they get very crazy out here. And that's going to be a very big problem there for a lot of the drivers. So now it is time to double file them up again, get them wrap, stack, put them back out on the attack, and let them rot this way down the trackside. 29 laps remain. The sun fades here at Daytona, but these drivers, they don't fade off that easily. They will rocket them towards the light, towards the sky. Green charges up. We're back underway. Boy, all that power, all that momentum, it's there, and it is ready to just be set afoot. A little bit of movement up front yet again here. Jaden Hopp already getting a big push here from Brandon Sheffield. Sheffield finishing the left rear corner panel, but it's Sheffield who moves Hopp just enough ahead to take over position. Hopp moves into the race lead. Sheffield right behind him. Every driver for themselves. Bryson Matthews, he's going into pit road right now. Looks like he's going to try to opt towards the strategy here and hope for the best. It's a very risky play here, in my opinion, to be doing this and to really be kind of trying to exemplify the positives over the negatives. But again, as a driver, you know, you cannot deny their rule of thumb and deny their little logic they've got going on. Sometimes their strategy may be something you can look towards down the road or down to the future here. Maybe use it towards your own advantage here. But it's definitely going to be a bit of a gamble here, unless he get those green-white checkers, because right now driver's coming up so quickly they're going to put him a lap down just from the sheer speed alone, and him being on its own too is not going to help him at all here. Bryson's going to get out of pit road now finally here, but the battle for the race lead continues on. Hopp, Sean S.C. Jr., Sheffield, James, and all of them, they're up in the pack and up into the fray. Sean Ryan, even at number 31 here, looks like he might have found a second life here. It's a little bit of a second charge, if you will. But you want to talk about a guy that has exemplified more than any other that he is here to stay and he is here to put on a show. I don't think you can get any more egregious than that. Sean is literally doing everything he can and being at the top 20 spot, being 20 spots up. He literally was 27th to start this race. Right now being up in 7th position. That is pretty darn impressive, I should say. Trying to hold down, trying to hold on right now. Double filed in yet again. 26 laps left to go. This one is closing off and closing fast. Hop on the very far outside line. Now moving towards, maybe gravitating towards that bottom. He sees teammates. He sees Cruz right behind him, though. Not trying to let him by too easily here. Look at this run, though, by Sean Ryan. Ryan now taking the front half of the bottom lane into his own territory. Sheffield looking to maybe push him around a little. Using the bottom grip to actually exemplify and support the momentum that he needs to carry with it. He's trying to make Hop think about this one just a little bit longer. Sheffield and Olaf right now, every single one of these guys are in that pack and in that fight. They're in the fray and they are out to do some damage and do some work here. But how much can they do here? How much more can they give to take and win? It's really hard to tell you, really hard to give you a good distinctive answer with, because again, everybody's been kind of firing off in so many rounds, so many angles here. It's kind of hard to tell like who's the master of what at this point. So close, yet so far left to go. Just over 20 remain. And mainly in this field, really only 20 drivers really remain that have another fighting chance here in this field. Some damaged up worse than others, some even currently cradling and holding on for dear life if they can. Just hoping and praying maybe something will come of it. I'd say more than anything though, the guys that you see right on your screen there are the ones that have to watch out for, because they are the ones trying to push and shove everything up to the front, trying to stay on that lead lap, and maybe if there is a chance here, maybe do some major workarounds and major speed advantages. Laps left to go here, just about a 20-minute shootout race here, if you will. Plenty of spacing, plenty of momentum here. Every guy, every gal that comes on through here on PTM Racing TV only knows one thing, and that is how to showcase their talents, showcase their skill, their worth, their credibility. Really all that and then some, exemplified times 100 here when you have to go on to places like this and having to figure out who is the top tier dog, who is the top tier cat of the bunch. And right now you can see a lot of swiveling, scoring around here. It looks like guys and gals might be getting a little bit eager to make a move or two here. Oh, huge bump there by the 92. Spencer Clark here sends one of them into a 3-wide tangent. They're trying to get him out of there. Looks like that was Colby Lindbergh that got kind of clipped hard by the 92. Might not have been a solid idea, but it was certainly a grand idea in retrospect, because it seemed like it was trying to get them just ahead into the race lead, but it was not enough momentum Brad Ward in the 87 actually getting a little bit of a break here. Moves right into that third place spot now with Lawrence Shaughnessy Jr. and Jane Hopp, the only gatekeepers left in this field, holding the line down and holding down the entire charge here. I'm not sure what else I could tell you here other than just a lot of guys trying to find some momentum, trying to get some last ditch efforts in here. Hopefully maybe seeing if they can pull off the stops, pull off the reins here just as much as they can and give themselves something to think about. Like I say, more than anything though, everybody is just trying to stay out of trouble at this point and just let their tracks kind of play out in their favor, kind of play out on the track. Sheffield already with a little bit of a dive down in between there, looking for some momentum on these guys. But still, they share the room, and now they've transferred over from bottom to top side. So it looks like now, anyway, they seem to be stressing and getting a bit of a matter of fact here. Last-ditch efforts now coming into full perspective here. Every single one of these guys needs to start thinking about this one just a little bit more with 15 laps remaining. This is where really all the best drivers will tell you that only the top-tier equipment can even hang in there as long as they have now. Well, I think we're about to put that to the ultimate test here, because really you're seeing the time zone differences not being made much apparent and much being more aware than anything else. Only the efforts and momentum of the push and the shove and the draft and the bumps are going to be able to get them far enough ahead. Right now, the 20 at Bryson Matthews. His little strategy may not have gone into full perspective, and that's going to cost him dearly, but he's going to have to now find a way to hang on with lap traffic in front of him. Everybody clear of the 20. Good driving on their end, getting him out of the way and staying dead focused on the shots ahead of him. It's a shocker to me just how much really they've been able to swerve, burp around and just fly around the track here without really any consequence or any kind of major issue. Kind of a glaring overall thought. I would have thought maybe had given them plenty of problems to kind of deal with later in this race, but now it does not seem to really be the case here. It seems like more than anything it's actually helped them to kind of keep away from guys getting a little too aggressive, getting a little too crazy here, considering we've only had about 4 cautions, though. Still, it's better than what I usually can do with these kind of races, these kind of runs. Oh, they say that huge tag coming up, a full throttle send-off shot, and that was definitely at Colby Lindbergh. Colby, I guarantee you, is probably wondering, hey, wait a minute, bud, what are you doing? I'm trying to hold the line down. Now I got put back into the line. Lap traffic now right up ahead here. They got the leaders here. They're going to have to be a little bit careful here. Lap traffic trying to figure out they want to go bottom, they want to go top side. They're getting word from race control and the guys in those cockpits like, hey, go up top, leave us alone on the bottom. Well, they left them alone, but that was rather closer than I think they wanted it to be in this case. Jaden Hop right now just far enough ahead of Lawrence Shaughnessy Jr. Shaughnessy is doing everything he can to keep pace with Hop. Maybe look for an opening or a strike time to fire him off with, but Brad Ward, though, got a little impatient, got a little help from Jason Jackson, who's also maybe feeling a bit of that pressure. Kept with 11 laps to go, he charges it up and got a huge runoff from it. Man, it's absolutely incredible, wild moments in between, far and few and wide. Laps to go here. This is going to be really a last chance or last ditch effort. I'm quite amazed we've gotten this far, but now I know more than anything with these guys, they are wanting to straight shoot out this one. They will do whatever they can. They will do everything they've got at stake here to pull the reins in and pull the machines back on side. Do they have enough time? Do they have enough momentum? Is there anything left they can do? Anything left they can bring? We're just about to see it here with 9 laps now to go. You see a little bit of 3 wide saloon back there, though. Looks like we got some company coming up. I think that might have been the 79 of Alan Wilson looking to try to make the move and make the run quickly here. Knows his goose is in kind of a troublesome spot if he doesn't get it cooked up right away. The heck did I just say? I don't even know anymore. I think he's trying to say his goose doesn't want his goose cooked here. Instead I said something else here. 3 wide saloon here. Sheffield got pwned up by Jaden Hop. Jaden Hop, unfortunately, sending him back to the Shadow Realm here. Tries to get back in there. It's not enough room. It's certainly not enough time now. Big wreck off of turn number 4 on the front straightaway. And Daniel Walker, Sean Ryan, both collided in a huge wreck ensuing there. Oh man, that was a huge hit there and a huge wreck, unfortunately, to say the least. And again, a lot of this just has to do with the fact that they know they cannot let openings like that get away. I mean, if you're Sheffield right now and you're looking in his shoes here, obviously, yeah, you wanted to try to give it everything you got, trying to make a last-ditch effort, last-minute move here. But, I mean, at the same time, I don't know if there really would have been enough room anyway after considering everything that went down. Hop, though, kind of pushed the shove and got him out of the way here. This is what the 96 saw in his mind. He saw this opening right here with Aiden Doyle. But Sean Ryan and all them really had nowhere to go and really nowhere to get out of. And unfortunately, they got completely sent and spent out of here. Wow. absolutely insane right now, folks. And really, when we come back after this, we'll be commercial free. We're gonna finish this race out one way or another. Stay tuned. One last word from our sponsors.
With the ButtKicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. ButtKicker. The future is feeling.
So here we go, race fans, back live here on PTM Racing TV. We're about to find out who's going to be the top tier dog of this one. Jason Jackson will be your number one driver right now. He'll be in the top spot on the restart here. And right at the moment, 5 laps to go. At point of restart, anything after that, if a caution comes out, it's then overtime here with 3 green white checkers on the line here. And I think that more than anything, this one could really bring guys to their feet, kind of bring everything to the line here. Positions will be key. Position will be hard on the run. Every single one of these guys know this all too well. They've got to very, very carefully choose where they wish to aim for, where they want to fire out at. I think if I was anybody right now, I would probably more than anything want to be around the outside line or maybe towards that bottom strip here. But I would still need to keep a close eye on distance and timing here, because again, getting the hold shot's one thing, but driving it hard enough off the ends here is a completely another. 5 laps remain. Jason Jackson looking for the first win of the season and really set the tone, set the pace for what lays ahead for him and his crew. So many laps were put out on the track, so many laps were put down on the field and on the pacing zone. And now, more than ever, those that were timing and precision based all the way through now have a chance. Will they be able to get to do it? We still aren't sure. The only way to find out for sure is to just let these guys go out there and race this one to the end. Pace car is now inside, and the time has risen again here, race fans. One more time around. Last chance, really. Do you have what it takes as a driver to win? Do you have what it takes to give it everything you got and pull this one out of the rabbit hat? We're about to find out now as the field continues to bring it on or by, bring it on to the fight zone here. Some major charging right up from the back straightaway. Jason Jackson right now has got the race lead, but Brad Ward, look at him crawling and scratching and fighting everything he's got on the outside. He's got Lindbergh right now looking to help him achieve the objective. Trying to achieve the momentum that is required to win here at Daytona. 4 laps to go. And they're 3 wide saluting right behind everybody. Not hard to go 3 wide saluting. The hard part is just trying to hold down the 3 wide salute Ryan P. Traeger right now kind of in a no man's land spot, trying to get out of it or get help, whichever one comes first. Last ditch opportunity here, last chances to really get something going here, get some moments, get some movement, get some charging. Off the corner ends here, down off turn number 3 into turn number 4. They'll have only 3 laps to go. This could be one for the ages here. This one could be for the record books here. Well, depending on how this one plays out. That time by, Ward would have had it by about a half a car length. Strong enough to certainly take down Jackson, but Jackson is no slouch either. Jaden Hopp now looking to full intervene, but look at the power draft and power move right off of turn number 2. A huge push to shove, and Lindbergh, look at him working his way around with Ward. Ward got a huge charge and a huge push thanks to Lindbergh there. And that might be enough, but watch out, Jaden Hopp, he switches it to the outside. Is that going to be a mistake here? He's trying to get more room on the very, very top end. He's going top shelf if he absolutely has to work this point for the win. Lindbergh gets right up ahead. Brad Ward goes to the bottom. 2 laps remain. Which one's it going to be? They're going to go for it all here. They're going to try not to get into some collision courses, but they're almost in that spot. Lindbergh now with the advantage. Lindbergh taking the lead, and they wreck right behind him off of turn number 2. Huge wreck ensuing, one flipping all the way around. The 79 of Alan Wilson crashed hard off turn number 2, had nowhere to go, and got sent back out of here. Oh my goodness, and I thought we were going to get this one finished out. I thought this was going to be the end of it, but now we're going to go to a 3 green-white checkered attempt here. Here's what happened. Looked like Lindbergh, when he went for the run, I think he may have got guys kind of swayed around a little bit. It looks like Jaden Hopp got taken into the 9, and then everybody else got kind of clipped around and hoped to get out of there in time. But unfortunately for the 79, man, talk about flipping, crashing, and bashing all over the place here. He went for an extremely wild ride there. One more look at it. See right there, the 8.6, once he got clipped, that was it, and then next thing you know, it was just end over end. I do apologize for those that get motion sick, but yeah, this is what you look for and you feel as a driver when you get into that spot. It does happen. Absolutely crazy to say the least here. Alan Wilson was the #1 qualifier from the race here. He was the #1 seed going into this event. And to see his race kind of capped down like that there, I mean, it's more than disheartening. It's really frustrating, to be putting it very, very nicely here. One more time around, and then we're gonna fire these guys back up and bring them back in a few notches. This one is not over yet, but they are definitely leaning towards very dangerous territory right now. They know that there's only so many minutes they have left on their display and on their chance here. I feel like as a driver right now, my biggest scare would be just to overdo these corners, to overdo the track a little bit. Considering, especially that knowing there's only what you have, there's only what you can bring left out there and what you can move onto the fields. I'd say this is really going to be a testament to control and stability here for these guys. They have about 9 minutes left to go before this race must be called and must be done and over with. I think that's kind of I think it's kind of really changing up the game plan and really hurting them a little bit more than they think so. Double filed up, restart zone now about to be initiated here. It's the first of possibly 3 green and white checkers. And you know, those that went into pit road at the time they did, I think really now they are going to find themselves in a bit of a eager spot. A little bit more of a hard charging kind of moment, kind of an end zone here. Here we go. This will come down to a green-white checker top 3 interviews to follow after this one, folks. Do not miss this when we get done with this race. Here we go. Final chance. Final opportunity. Final opportunity coming their way now. Brad Ward, you can see blocking, defending, trying to keep Hop away from him. He's not going to have time though. Hop to the outside. Lawrence Shaughnessy coming up hard. He needs Lindbergh to give him a huge push. Going to give him the big pump draft here. Can they get it across the line to get the green-white out of the way and get the white flag to pop on by? That remains to be the question. Look at the charge though from Griesbaum coming down to the bottom lane. Griesbaum found another light, found another opening. White flag is out. This is now what we call the old drag racing mantra. They're going to run these things down the line, down the ends, with no hope left other than bolts in. Off the ends here now, cornering down. Some big moves getting pushed up here. Hop goes topside again. Look at Traeger. Traeger, wait a minute. Where did Traeger come from? And Traeger gets a piece of Hop. They're going to wreck him hard off of turn number 3 and 4. Hard off turn number 3 and 4. Shaughnessy's left all alone. And the number 9, Lawrence Shaughnessy Jr. will find victory lane at Daytona. Oh my goodness. Left all alone while everybody else sent to the shadow realm. Victor Stank and Jay Hop will walk away second and third, but they know their race was done and over with when they wrecked them hard off on that turn 3 end. But for Lawrence Shaughnessy, he needed this one more than anything. The man from Greenville, North Carolina, pulling off a miraculous win and a big victory for Shake and Bake Racing League. And now, he knows more than anything, he has a great chance and a great opportunity to work with this one. What a victory and what a win for him in the number 9, And he has done it yet again, showcasing only his brightest talents and his best skills on the last-ditch effort, on the last-ditch moves to win this race out. Incredible. The race has been calculated and resulted in. Let's take a look at it. Here it is. Top 10 results. Shaughnessy will win this one. Victor Stank somehow comes away second. Third, Jaden Hopp somehow surviving the madness behind him. Brad Ward goes solid fourth. Fifth to Keith Whitford. Sixth to Bryson Matthews. Seventh to Chris James. Eighth, Aiden Doyle. Ninth to Colby Lindenberg. And 10th to Daniel Walker. That will round out the top 10 in our field. The rest of your finishers here on the showcase here. What a wild, wild night of racing, ladies and gentlemen. And now it's time to go ahead and talk with our top 3 drivers. Let's start it up here with your third place finisher tonight, Jaden Hopp here. And the number 81 machine, Jaden, congratulations on the top 3. Although I gotta believe more than anything in your heart, you were expecting more than just that there, sir.
A little bit, but it seemed like the best idea I had at the time.
For sure there. Now let's kind of define this one out here a little bit. You had a lot of momentum, a lot of control coming down on the back straightaway into turn number 3. Then you seemingly had to go down to the bottom and block. Was that really what kind of did you in, or did you feel like there was more to it?
Maybe, yeah, he kind of hit me a little bit in the corner. I mean, he had to, but it kind of upset my corner, or my car.
For sure there, but nevertheless though, I mean, we got you a little better of you there, but you still had a great showing. It's still a big of a fight on your hand here. So Hop, as you come away in the first race here on our PTM Racing TV studio show, I have to ask you this, sir. Who do you want to thank here tonight for this third place finish?
I'd like to thank my teammates. They were absolutely fantastic tonight. And everyone else racing tonight, the overall racing was absolutely phenomenal.
For sure there. Well, Jaden, we do appreciate coming on board here, my friend. Congratulations on this third place finish, and we're going to catch you out next time on here at PTM Racing TV, bud.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, your third place finish tonight, Jaden Hopp, coming away here as we're going to now talk to the 68 here. This is Victor Stake, your second place finisher here. And Victor, congratulations on your second place finish, sir, and really a hard charging kind of night, my friend. 18 spots, you have outclassed the field and are the hard charger, my friend. What's it mean to you to get that done for you?
It was a rough night. Got into a couple of the wrecks, a couple of incidences, had some repairs that had to be done. I'm really, really happy with the way this turned out. It looked a little bleak in the middle.
It did look a little bit bleak, but everything kind of cornered up, kind of got straight away and kind of hanged in there. And from there, it was just all about kind of pacing yourself and getting to the end now, wasn't it?
Yeah, we had some good coaching on the radios too with our teammates. I'm really happy to be part of this high side racing team. That really helped me get up there to the second place finish tonight.
It certainly did indeed. So as you just said, your high side racing team there, is there anybody else you want to thank here for the second place finish?
I just want to, besides high side racing and all my teammates there, I just want to give a shout out to my company, VAS Designs. We do iRacing paints for people.
Well, they certainly definitely got a little bit of a library going on right now and some pretty sweet looking rides. I think they'll have to add a few more to the roster, but nevertheless here, Victor, we appreciate you coming on board here, sir. Congratulations, and we hope to catch you next time here on the show.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Victor Stang in the 68 comes away second. Now finally a race winner here, off all alone to the end of it all. Lawrence Shaughnessy Jr. comes away with the W yet again. Lawrence, congratulations, sir. You know, you had to travel not too far from Greenville to get down here to Daytona, and I guarantee you got some family friends waiting for you with the big trophy on this one, aren't they?
Yeah, man, that was a great race. iRacing has done a great job with this draft package. It looked bleak there. Coming out of 2, honestly. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't like being the second guy in line on these super speedways, but man, what a finish.
Let's talk about that for a second too here. Obviously, not just the finish, but just also what we saw here coming to the end, coming to the wire. You guys had to use the draft, had to push to shove, had to get the runs going as quick as you could. How difficult was it for you to really be able to get a grip and get a foothold with the way this car was and the way this thing handled on the track?
We we worked really hard on me, Jaden, Allen. We worked really hard all race long to control as much as we could of this race. You really got to kind of see where the run's coming from before it gets to you. Otherwise, you get run over. I don't know if you noticed, but the high side worked for a little while there when me, Jaden, and Brad were lined up. We moved down to the bottom, and they got formed up. It was all just about, as old Dale Sr. used to say, see in the air, basically.
Yeah.
So we just worked and tried to control the lanes and do what we could to win this thing.
Well, we definitely looked on the outside. A lot of you guys were going up there for quite a while there, and we were noticing there were some big movements there. We weren't sure if it was pretty much because the bottom was starting to slick up or if you guys found some more momentum, but at the end of the day, it did work and it did catch up there. So, Lawrence, you're going to walk away with the W and the first win, really, here on our show with this new season. So, here at Daytona, who do you want to thank for this one?
Got to thank the guys over at Highside. 1-2-3 finish for us tonight. We're really gunning for that team championship in this league, so that's a great way to start it. Got to thank Aiden for putting on a great league. I'm looking forward to running a full season this year after being part-time last year. Got to thank the sponsors: Bumper Thumper Traction Compound, RaceToolsDirect.com, B&K Root Beer Stand, all at Competition Auto Body, everybody that helps us out over there at Highside Motorsports.
For sure.
They do a great job, and I finally got to thank my mom who loves to tune into the streams and watch this race. So gave her a win tonight.
Well, she certainly gave her a win, and more so than ever than before here, Lawrence. Congratulations, sir, and we'll catch you next time here on PTM Racing TV.
Thanks, Christian.
Yeah, absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, your top 3 finishers here tonight. Race fans, this one's going to conclude down here at Daytona. What a night. What an awesome night of action right here in the home and the birthplace of the Daytona 500, and really the place that no one goes away without thinking about it a little bit more. But race fans, for now, we'll tune out. We'll sign off for now. I love you guys from the bottom of my heart. Have a good night out there. Take it easy on yourselves.